Hang on. Let's try that and see if we've got some audio this time. Sorry about that, guys. We were having some audio issues. I'm blaming it on Damien Seeger. He got me to change some settings before we started, and it seems like they all went a bit pear-shaped, but hopefully we're back on air now and up and running. Yeah, we're getting some a little bit of feedback, but I'll try and get that sorted on the fly while the boys are doing their qualifying. It's always great when you try something new and it doesn't quite work. See if we can bring the chat back up. Ah, there we go. Now we've got chat back. We're just about set. So yeah, as I was saying in the intro, when no one could hear me, we're actually at Daytona tonight for a 35 lap, 200 kilometre enduro. We're currently watching Andrew Roberts on screen doing his qualifying. Might have a look and see who else is out there. This is Rod Abina, one of the Group A boys. Where's Rod? He's currently down in 9th in Group A. He's set some fairly quick times during our practice sessions. So hopefully we'll see some good times tonight from Rod. Who else is out there? Looks like Lee Harrison at the moment is on the top of the leaderboard. It's Lee in the Aston. The feedback I was getting earlier tonight is that the Aston might be a little bit hard to beat on this track, which will be a pleasant change from watching the Mercs up the front. So hopefully it'll be a good race. I think all of the cars, the Porsche is actually not too bad at this track as well. So yeah, I suppose we'll find out at the end of the 35 laps. But in the meantime, Lee's still sitting at the top. Trent Laves is moved into second. Jeff Connell is currently third. Sam Muir in fourth. Henry Fenson down in fifth. Jack Boyd in sixth. Wayne Losh in seventh. Rod Urbina has moved up to eighth. Moz Moroz in 10th. And then down in the Group B, Chris Bleakley currently holds the pole position. And it's Matt Icarius down in Group C. They got 3 laps, 10 minutes, so yeah, hopefully they'll get the 3 laps in and we should be up and racing very, very shortly. We've got a short little 5-minute break for the boys to get themselves organised. The race tonight, 35 laps by my calculation, should be around about just over the hour, probably an hour and 10 minutes. So it's certainly going to test a few boys out, test the stamina. Meanwhile, who else have we got out on track? This is the Cobra, Anthony Connors in the Porsche. Ant's currently third of the Group B class. Looks like most of the guys have used the best of their tyres, looking at the times, the qualifying times, although Jeff Connell sets a purple sector for the last sector. Looks like Anthony's finished. He's back into the pits. Moz Moroz has just finished his. Ant Cuthbertson's back with us tonight. He had a week off. He's currently not sure if he should have time to get one more lap in, so hopefully that's what he's. I know he looks like Ant's finished as well. I think most of the boys are pretty much done. Doesn't look like there's too many out on track now, so they've all got their laps done. So we can have a quick look. Ooh. So in Group A, it looks like Lee Harrison's grabbed the pole from Trent Laves, Sam Muir, Jeff Connell, Jack Boyd down in 5th. That's interesting. Henry Fenson, Wayne Losh, Rod Urbina, Mos Moroz, and Glenn Boyd. In Group B, it looks like it's going to be Chris Bleakley from Dean Logsdale, Anthony Connors in 3rd, Michael Polly in 4th, Keith Logan out of 5. Then it'll be Lam Newgan, Jesse Carrick in 7th, Dan Bartouche in 8th, and Darren Linus out of 9th, with Roy Rigg in 10th. And in Group C, it'll be Matt Acarius. It's a good effort from Matt off pole. John Thorne in 2nd, Matt Tesserero will be starting 3rd in class, followed by Graham Ellis, Phil Paradiso, Shannon Curry, Adam St. John, good effort up in 7th, Bard Rodkin out of 8th, Aaron Maguire 9th, and it'll be Andrew Roberts out of 10th. As I said, the boys have just got a quick 5-minute warm-up now, so we might let them get that organised. I might do the same. I might just quickly grab a drink, and I shall be back very shortly with the start of the race. It's done it again to me. Apologies to everybody. Sorry about that, boys. We're back. Yeah, I don't think Damo's idea really worked that well. It keeps switching itself off. So hopefully I'll keep an eye on it for the rest of the night, and hopefully we will maintain audio. Apologies again. But I'm getting all sorts of crazy. I really must look at getting out of my sim to do this. I don't think broadcasting from a sim is the is the ideal world somehow. It's just too many things can and do go wrong. It's now telling me that I need to change my audio. So I will try and do that while we are talking. Hopefully we're back up and have got some sort of audio while I just try and sort out what the other issue is. So if you guys at Chatland can hear me now, can you just let me know? That would be good. Just trying to navigate my way. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. NZ Red Racer. At least somebody out there can hear me. Oh, here we go. Now it's telling me that we should be all back up and trucking again. Is the audio loud enough out there? While I'm playing around, we may as well jump on the roof cam of Sam Muir as he gets a half-decent tow off of Lee Harrison at the moment. Not sure how far behind young Jack is. Well, there's Jack there. So we've got a couple more crashes. Looks like this time it might be Andrew Roberts that's come unstuck. Looks like Andrew may have, got on the gas a little bit early, and the harmless spin out of everyone's way, so he'll be able to get back on track and continue on. Meanwhile, it looks like Sam Muir now has gone to the front as we were watching that replay. What are we on, lap 4? So we've still got 31 laps to go. It looks like the field's settled down a little bit. Let's jump back and see how our group leaders are going. So Chris Bleakley currently leading the Group B boys, 10th outright. Looks like he's got Mosmoroz. He's in with a bunch of Group A boys, but obviously not holding them up. So it's not causing anyone any issues at the moment. It's got quite a break on Dean Logsdale and Anthony Connors, who further back in the pack. Let's see if we can find. So that's back to Dean. He's got Anthony Connors for company right behind him. Looks like Kyle Ridley is back there as well at the moment. So we've got a bit of a mixture of Group A and Group B, but a lot of the Group B boys are actually quite quick. The classes are not necessarily based purely on ability. We've sort of mixed it up a little bit so everybody's got someone to race against, which hopefully they're all doing. It looks like Anthony Connors has just stepped aside there to let the Group A boys through. I'm not sure who that is on the back of Kyle. Oh, it's Matt Keane. So Matt's another Group A racer. No doubt they'll be looking to try and get through on Dean as quickly as they can. Get up onto the back of, looks like Glenn Boyd ahead of him. So hopefully Dean will do the right thing and move aside when he gets the opportunity. Just, yep. So as you can see, Dean's just run it wide to let them through. I don't think Ant will, the Cobra will take advantage. No, he's happy to move back in behind Dean. So this is the exit from the infield out onto the oval section of the track, through the bus stop. Got a curb cam set up in the bus stop. You see the cars really strained with a left and then a right turn. This is one of those sections of track where you can make up a lot of time, but you can also lose it. You've really got to be get that part of the track right. There's also a couple of decent slowdowns if you do get it wrong. So guys will be very conscious of trying to get through there. Meanwhile, back up the front, Sam Muir still holds down the lead from Lee Harrison. Henry Fenson has now moved himself up into third spot in front of Jack Boyd. Then we've got Jeff Connell back in fifth. Trent Lathes down in sixth. Loshi is in seventh. Rod Bina in eighth. Moz Moroz ninth. And Matt Petrozek in 10th. Looks like groups have actually sort of settled down a little bit now. John Thorne's currently leading in the Group C class. Where's John on track? So he's got a bit of a lead over Matt Akaris, who's got Graham Ellis right behind, and in turn Graham's got Shannon Curry. So looks like the boys in Group C are having a good little battle as well back there. It's Aaron Maguire currently 34th, 5th overall in Group C. He's moved up 4 spots so far in the opening six laps. So Aaron's going the right way. Meanwhile, back with the Group A boys, it's Moz Moroz currently down in 9th. Jump on board with Moz for a little while. It's not one of Moz's favourite tracks, by the way. He's complained all week that the BMW is just way too slow, but I think most of us have worked out that it's actually Moz that's a little bit too slow. As I said earlier, Rod Abena just in front of Moz was setting some cracking times, even in practice last night. Rod was Was one of the quickest out there, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the BMW as such. I think it's just one of those. Oh, meanwhile, our leader of Group B has had an off. Oh, it looks like he's been. Oh, Boydie. It looks like Glenn Boyd might have got into the back of him there. That's this is the back of Chris's car. Oh, yeah, he's just copped a little bit of a tap there from Glenn Boyd. Two different classes. That's going to sting. Certainly something that the stewards will be having a look at. Well, it looks like Moz is coming under a little bit of pressure from Matt Petrusek. Currently 9th and 10th overall. It's Keithy Logan. He's currently 3rd in Group B. And Keithy's having a good run at the moment. So tucked in behind. It's Glenn Boyd just up ahead. Glenn's dropped 4 positions since the start, so he's obviously trying to make his way back up to the front. Meanwhile, it's Damien Seeger. It's currently 13th outright. Damo's dropped 1 position since the start. He's got Dean Logsdale currently leading Group B just behind him at the moment. Meanwhile, some of the boys that are way back, Darren Linus finds himself currently down in 39th position. He's, I think Darren was involved in an incident earlier. And he's going to have to come up with an alternative strategy to try and work his way back up. Meanwhile, why? I just noticed on the screen that we seem to be, or has, I wonder if some of the boys are doing their pit stops already. I wonder if a couple of them have worked out a different strategy. So let's have a look and see if we can bring up our little pit stop indicator. And who did I see sneaking into the pits? I'm pretty sure Loshi went into the pits. There we go. So both Wayne Losh and Damo have pitted. They've gone reasonably early and they've come back out in traffic, but hopefully that won't slow them down too much. They can sort of make their way back. It's interesting strategy. They've gone reasonably early, but the way the fuel is set up tonight, they will be able to have effectively a splash and dash towards the end, and maybe what Loshi and Damo have decided is to do their splash and dash early. Of course, the only issue with that is that you need to make sure that you get it right. Otherwise, when you stop the second time to fuel up, you may not have enough to get home. Meanwhile, back up at the front, we've still got our train of 5 or 6 cars, 5 cars at the moment. Trent's on the back of that train now, Trent Lave, so it's just a little bit of a gap back to Rod Urbina, but he's not that far behind. So effectively, our top 8 are all, top 9 are all pretty much within striking distance. If I go to, so that's all of the Group A boys and how far they are off the front. So as we can see, Loshi and Damo are both a fair way off the lead, but they're both pitted. So and then if we go to Group B, Dean Logsdale still got Ant Connors and Keith Logan for company. It's nearly 5 seconds back to Dan Bartouche, who's currently in 4th. Then Lam Nugent and Ant Cuthbertson in 6th, Mike Polly in 7th, Ben Singer up in 8th, Jesse Carrick is 9th, and Roy Rigg currently rounds out the top 10. And then when we go to Group C, you see John Thorne, he's got about 2.5 second lead now over Graham Ellis, still holding down 2nd. Aaron Maguire's made his way up into 3rd, but about 10 seconds off the lead. And it's Adam St. John in 4th, who's doing a really good job, followed by Phil Paradiso, Mick Nancaro, Matt Tesserero recovering from that spin. Matt Carius down in 8th. I don't know what happened to Matt. He's obviously been caught up in some sort of issue. He's about 24 seconds off the lead, and it's not telling me that he's pitted, so he might have had a spin or an off somewhere. But that's where they all sit currently in their different groups. Meanwhile, it looks like Lee has now taken over at the front again. Boys have got quite a bit of fuel, so they won't need to necessarily pit for a few more laps. I just wonder if Jack Boyd's playing his normal game of doing a bit of fuel saving early so he can try and break away after the pit stops. Meanwhile, this is Trent Laves. Right on board with Trent. He's about 2.5 seconds off the leader at the moment, but still well and truly getting a tow from the cars in front, which will be helping save a little bit of fuel, no doubt. Just waiting to see. So the boys are running 153, low 153s, which is still a fairly quick pace for this stage of the race. I know a couple of boys got into the 52s last night, but they're still running a pretty hot pace. Race has sort of settled down a little bit now. Everybody's working out their strategies going forward. And a few boys are jumping into the pits, as we can see. Group A boys, meanwhile, are staying out. Got this real freight train of cars at the front still. Pearsy's on the chat tonight. Not sure why he's not out racing. If you're watching, Pearsy, perhaps you can fill us in as to why you're not out there cutting laps. Doesn't look like any of the leaders are planning on pitting just yet. They're on lap 12. Looks like Henry's thinking about a move on Sam Muir. It's pulled out of the toe there a little bit, but Sam's got the inside run through turn one. And meanwhile, I can see some of the boys leaving the pits. So these guys are going to come across some traffic. They're going to have to work their way through some of these cars, hopefully without any incidents. Meanwhile, it looks like Dean Logsdale has pitted from the leading Group B, which has put Keith Logan out in front from Ant Cuthbertson and Michael Polly. So looks like the lapped car is going to move out of the way. That's Mick Nancaro who's stepping aside. Let the boys through. Always easier to do it on one of the straights than it is through some of the corners. So it looks like the pit strategy is going to play out over quite a few laps tonight. We can see some of the boys are. If we go back to the class, still only Loshie, Damo, and now Glenn Boyd in Group A that have pitted. So the Group A boys are obviously all going to try and follow the leader. Meanwhile, in Group B, we've got Anthony Connors is actually the first of the cars that have pitted, as Keith Logan now comes into the pits. But we can see there's still quite a few cars that I know it looks like most of them are coming into the pits now. And down in Group C, John Thorne so the first one that has pitted is Shannon Curry. John stayed out. Graham Ellis is still out there. Looks like they're all coming onto pit road. So they've obviously run it down, run the tanks down, and they're all needing to pit. But I wonder if the Group A boys will be pitting this time around. It looks like they're coming up onto the back of Phil Paradiso, who steps aside to let them all through. Phil's just backing out of it as they come to the bus stop. We might just stick with Lee this time around, see if he does actually pit on lap 14. This will be interesting because this will set the marker for how much fuel they put in the next time around. So, yep, it looks like they're all heading to pit lane. Oh, a couple have stayed out. Jack Boyd has stayed out. So, Jack, as you can see the race down pit lane. So, Jack and Jeff Connell have stayed out. They've obviously done a little bit of fuel saving. So, if they're going to get 15 laps out of this tank and can do the same with the next tank, they're only going to need 5 laps of fuel at the end. This is where it all gets a little bit technical for some of these boys. Pearsy's looking for a PC sponsor. Well, probably needs to talk to Phil Paradiso at KP Tech. Phil's one of our league sponsors, has sponsored us for quite a few seasons now. So if any of you people out there are looking for some PC related stuff, whether it be sim, work, home, anything IT, Phil is your man at KP Tech. You can find him on Facebook and tell Phil that I sent you, and he will certainly look after you with a really good deal. How's that for a plug, Phil? You owe me a beer. All right, let's get back to the racing. So Loshi now has moved up into fourth. Actually, Loshi currently leads of everyone that's pitted, which is interesting. So my guess is that Jack, Jeff, and Trent are all going to have to pit this lap, meaning that should, yeah, here they come. They're on pit road now. So that should put Loshi into the lead. He's got lead behind him, but that's a huge gain for Loshi. That's an undercut and a half. Meanwhile, looks like Damo's been swamped a little bit. He pitted at the same time as Loshi, but has obviously dropped back. He's been passed by quite a few cars now. But yeah, that just a really good effort from Loshi so far. It will be interesting to see what happens when they flip the pit stop times later in the race, because as I said, the boys that have run the tanks right now will have pretty much a splash and go at the end, whereas if Loshi has done a splash and dash at the beginning, he's going to have a longer refuel time at the end. But at least for now, it's put him up the front, got him a little bit of broadcast time as we ride on board with the on the back of Loshi's Porsche. That's Lee Harrison filling his mirrors at the moment. Wonder if Lee's going to be content to sit there, or is he going to want to be out the front and using a bit more fuel? So after the first round of pit stops, it's Loshi in Group A. Let's go back and let's have a look at the different classes. So it's Loshi over Lee Harrison, then Sam Muir, Henry Fenson in fourth, Rod Urbina has jumped up to fifth now, Kyle Ridley in sixth, Damien Seeger seventh, Mosma Roz eighth, Trent Laves ninth, Jeff Connell 10th, Matt Keane is 11th, Matt Petrzak is 12th, Jack Boyd has dropped down to 13th, 13 seconds off the lead. I wonder if Jack had some issues with his pit stop. And then Glenn Boyd 14th, about 17 seconds off the lead. If we have a look at Group B, and currently it's Anthony Connors out in front. It's got about a 2-second gap over Dean Logsdale now. Roy Rigg has moved up to third. That's Roy's obviously moving in the right direction. Jesse Carrick has jumped up to fourth. Dan Bartouche is now fifth. Ant Cuthbertson in sixth. Lam Nugent in seventh. Keith Logan, who was up towards the front, is now back into eighth. Then Ben Singer in ninth and Michael Polly in 10th. And if we jump down to Group C, it's Graham Ellis in front. He's just under a second in front of Shannon Curry now. John Thorne is nearly 7 seconds back in third. Matt Tesserero is fourth. Adam St. John is holding down fifth. Then it's Matt Icarius, Phil Paradiso, Mick Nancaro. And it looks like one of the boys from Group C, this is Aaron Maguire. Oh, that's a big hit. Oh, yeah, that's not going to buff out, unfortunately. Meanwhile, back up the front, Loshy's still holding down about a half a second lead over Lee Harrison. Sam Muir still in third. I got a bit of a break now over Henry, who's still in fourth at the moment. We'll go back to our grouped, so we can see there that Ant Connors in Group B is about 13 seconds off the leaders, and Graham Ellis is around about 49 seconds behind as we're on lap 18, so we've actually reached the halfway mark. There's only another 17 laps to go, boys. Being asked on chat whether Jack took tyres. I don't believe so. What we can do is have a look at the pit times. So Loshy was only in for 19.5 seconds, so he obviously didn't take a lot of fuel. Moroz, on the other hand, was in for 28, and if we check out Jack was in for 38 seconds, so if he didn't take tyres, he certainly stopped for a hamburger and fries. It looks like he's caught his old man's disease if he didn't take tyres, because that's a very slow stop. Unless, no, he couldn't have even got a penalty at that point, I don't think, unless he copped a small penalty perhaps for speeding in pit lane. But I don't believe that Jack would have taken tyres. It's not normally what Jack does, but we will certainly ask him after the race. Meanwhile, one of our Group B boys, this is Dan Bartouche, looks like he's had a spin all on his own, just got on the gas a little bit too hard too early and spun it around. Doing the right thing, waiting for the track to clear. Whoa, whoops. Might have got on the loud pedal just a little bit too soon, but he's off and running again. This is good to see. So, meanwhile, up the front, Sam Muir. I wonder what's happened. What's happened to? Oh, it's telling us that Loshy's had a crash while leading. Definitely going to have a look at this. So he's come into turn one. Oh, Lee. Oh, that's ugly. That's not one of those moments that you want to look back on with any sort of fondness, I don't think. It looks like they're both back up and running, but that's certainly cost them both a heap of time. I'm not sure. So Loshy's currently down in 12th. Lee Harrison is 13th. Loshy's now. Oh, he's only 12 seconds off the lead, which is not insurmountable. He's got Jack in front of him, so if he can get onto the back of Jack and stay with Jack, it might be all right. Mitch McNaughton wants to cancel daylight saving, please. My response to that would be, wouldn't it be nice? We're one country, yet we don't seem to be able to get more than 2 states on the same time zone at any one time. It's crazy that WA and at the moment Queensland are just so far behind. And some of the excuses I've heard for daylight saving just don't make any sense. I would hope. One day we might actually all be able to enjoy our sim racing because the time zones are realistic. But with WA being so far behind us, I can understand the frustration, especially for guys like Mitch in over in WA. Maybe we should might have to have a chat to Mitch at some point and find out. Pearsy says, what about his curtains? My response to Pearsy would be, build a bridge, dude. I know. The cows, I've heard the one about the cows don't give milk if we don't have daylight. So I've heard them all over the years. And yes, I think I'll move on from that, get back to the racing. But in relation to the WA thing, maybe we just have to... I think daylight savings only got a short period to run, but you know, if we could, if Mitch is only missing out by a couple of minutes, I'm sure we could come up with a workaround, especially in the short term, and try and make it a bit easier for him to be able to get in. But as I said, until the governments get themselves organised, not a lot we can do. So at least looking at Loshi in the meantime, he has jumped onto the back of young Jack. He's actually put in a really nice lap. Lee Harrison behind him has gone that little bit quicker, but both boys are obviously keen to get back into it after that little mishap. Meanwhile, Damo's on the blower, so I'm not sure what, if anything, has happened, or... Looks like Damo's... He's got Moz. Maybe Damo's just pulled the family card and told Moz he needs to step aside. I think Damo's taken seniority in the family stakes tonight and told Moz to get out the way. I'm sure we'll hear about it later. So what are we on? Lap 21. So there's about 15 laps to go. And so Sam Muir holds a very slender lead at this stage over Henry Fence, and Robert Bino has jumped up to third now. He's got Kyle Ridley very close behind. Damo has made his way back up inside the top five. Then you've got Mosmoroz, just as I say that, Damo heads to the pits. He obviously needs to, his earlier strategy means he's going to fill up now to get to the end. Meanwhile, in Group C, so there's all your Group A boys as they stand. In Group B, Anthony Connors has got about a 5.5 second gap now over Dean Logsdale. The Cobras are on song tonight. Looks like he's found a bit of pace. Actually, I think that's he's on the back of that's Lee in front of him. So yeah, Lee and Loshi. So he's getting a half decent tow. So there's all your favourite drivers in Group B, and then we'll jump back and have a look in Group C, and it's still Graham Ellis just going past Glenn Hill there. John Thorne is second, about 3.5 seconds back, and then Matt Tesserero has made his way back up after that earlier spin. Matt Kerris currently in fourth, then it's Mick Nancaro, Phil Paradiso and Andrew Roberts. few of the boys are a lap down now, but Big G Racing is doing a great job so far tonight, hanging in there in and leading Group C. Meanwhile, we've got a couple more crashes. It looks like this might be. So this is Daniel Gomes. That's Andrew Roberts on the inside. Two different classes. Oh, wow. I'm probably going to say that, looking at that perhaps Andrew may have, we'll slow it right down. Andrew may have been best served to just back out of that a little bit more as they're coming into turn one. Pretty hard to judge from here, but I'm sure the stewards will have a good look at that one. Meanwhile, that's looks like Loshi coming out of the pits just ahead of. So Loshi's now made his second and last stop for the night. Head back, and Henry's now gone to the front. So we've got a train of 4 cars up the front. Jeff Connell's currently about just over 2 seconds back from these 4. Then Moz Moroz is 6th. Trent Maves is 7th. Matt Petrzak is 8th. Matty Keane moves up to 9th. Jack Boyd now in 10th. Just as we say that, looks like Matt's jumped into the pits for his final stop. Meanwhile, back in the field, this is Scotty Baker, and that's Chris Bleakley just in front of Scott. They're currently battling it out for 21st and 22nd, which is 10th, 9th and 10th in class. Come through to complete their start their 24th lap, sorry. Well, this is Roy Rigg, who is, where's Roy? He's currently down in 32nd spot. He's 15th in class, so obviously there's a little bit of chopping and changing with pit stops and stuff. So once everybody's completed their final stop, I'm sure we'll get a better understanding on who's where. Meanwhile, back at the front, we've still got the train running through. And Loshi now is, where's Loshi? Loshi's currently all the way. He's just behind Ant Connors, who's obviously pitted as well, because now Dean Logsdale has jumped to the lead. So Ant Connors has done his final stop. Just waiting on these boys to go around again. As I said, based on the earlier one, they'll probably have maybe 6 or 7 laps worth of fuel to put in at the end, depending on how much they manage to save in this stint. Let's have a look and see who has done their pit stops for the second time. Shannon Curry's done 2 stops. Anthony Connors, obviously, he's done his 2 stops. None of the boys in the top 6 have done a second stop yet. Where's Ant Cuthbertson? He's currently 6th in class, up 5 spots from where he started. So Ant's had a pretty good run so far. Meanwhile, this is Ambo, who is currently 7th in Group C. He has done his 2 stops, so he should jump a few spots once the leaders in that group finish off there, do their last stops. Meanwhile, we've got another crasher back in the pack. This is Glenn Hill. Looks like Glenn's done this all on his own. Yeah, the famous corner out onto the oval. Just gets on the gas a little bit too early. Spins it around. Meanwhile, boys continue on at the front. It's Keithy Logan on Ben Singer. A couple of the McLaren boys. Keithy's obviously looking for a way through, but doing the right thing. The boys in front are obviously in a bit of a battle themselves. They're all Group C cars that are directly ahead of him. So it's times like these you just need that little bit of patience, which Keithy's doing a great job at. I'm sure he should hopefully get a run on them down the straight, or on the oval as it is, and manage to get by a couple of them. Keithy's currently 4th in class, so he's obviously keen to try and get through as quickly as he can. Adam St. John has moved aside now. It looks like Matt's done the same. Keith should be able to just squeeze on through. Keithy just says thank you over the radio. That's always great to hear, that when the boys acknowledge others that move aside from. Meanwhile, our leaders continue on lap 27 now. So I'm board with Sam Muir, still 2nd. We've got the 2 Mercs out front of the 2 BMWs at the moment. Another Merc currently in 5th. And then Trent Laves is actually in the Aston, followed by another BMW, and then another Aston, and then another Merc, and another BMW. Boys are all doing their pit stops in Group B, which has put Lam Newton currently at the top of Group B. I think, as I say that, I think it's Lam gone. No, Lam hasn't pitted yet, so he's currently moved up. Was the 11th outright. There's him and Ben Singer behind him, directly behind him. We can see there in the background, those 2 boys are the only 2 that haven't pitted so far. The boys, this is making their way out onto the oval. Looks like our boys at the front are all starting to make some of their pit stops. I noticed Rod Urbina has jumped into the pits now. Meanwhile, Henry continues on with Sam and Kyle directly behind. Jeff Connell's there. Trent Laves, Moz Moroz is still up there. Jack Boyd has made his way back up to the back of this pack now as well. Oh, just going to have to excuse me for 2 seconds, guys. My headset's about to go flat. Hang on. Apologies for that. Whenever you try to do something in a hurry, it never works. So the boys have obviously all pitted while I was trying to get the audio sorted. So where does that put us at the moment? So Sam, who hasn't pitted yet, is now in front of Jeff Connell, who's directly behind him. Then Trent Laves is currently in third. Kyle Ridley fourth. So Kyle is the first of the cars that's pitted twice, about 33 seconds back. So this is going to be interesting. These guys obviously come across some slower traffic and are trying to get through as quickly as they can. Having said that, it's not easy for cars to just step aside on the bus stop. You can see Sam flashing his lights there. Guys are trying to get out the way, but also take whatever advantage they can. That's the beauty of class racing. So these boys have now decided, the leading three have now all decided to jump into the pits, which leaves Kyle out in front. He's got a little bit of a gap over Moz at the moment. It's about, what's that, not quite 2 second lead over Moz. Henry is now backing what effectively will be third. The boys come through and complete. So it looks like, wow, I wonder if people have done a little bit of short fueling here. As Jeff Connell's now jumped out into the lead. Kyle is directly behind him, Kyle Ridley, and then Trent Laves has now found himself up into third. Shannon Curry just steps aside there to let the boys through. Kyle's run a little bit wide. Trent's looking for a way through. And Kyle will have the run out of the out onto the oval. So let's have a quick look at the classes. We're on lap 30. We've got about 5 laps to go. So Jeff Connell is now leading Group A from Kyle Ridley, less than a second. Trent Laves is directly behind Kyle Ridley now. Moz Moroz is around a couple of seconds further back. Then Henry Fenson is now up to 5th. Sam Muir is in 6th. Rod Urbina is 7th. Jack Boyd has moved back up to 8th. Bat Petrazak is 9th. Lee Harrison is 10th. Matty Keane up to 11th. Damien Seeger in 12th. Wayne Losh is 13th. And Glenn Boyd is 14th. That's your Group A, boys. Now back in Group B, so it's Anthony Connors. Everyone's done their 2 stops. Lam Nugent now finds him moved up to 2nd. He's about 10 seconds behind Connors. Then Jesse Carrick 3rd. Ben Singer's doing a fantastic job up into 4th. Michael Polly has moved up to 5th. Keithy Logan in 6th. Dean Logsdale currently 7th. Dean's dropped back a fair way. Chris Bleakley still recovering from that earlier tap is now 8th. Roy Rigg down to 9th. Dan Bartush, who we saw spin earlier, is inside the top 10. And back in Group C, it's still Graham Ellis. Although Matt Tesserero has closed that gap now to, it's only a couple of tenths. So let's see if we can find them on track and see how that battle's playing out. So there's Big G. And there's Matt Tesserero just behind. Meanwhile, Matt Carius has dropped a fair way back. He's now about 20 seconds behind this leading trio. As we go back up to the front and get our groups back. So still Jeff Connell leading, about half a second on Kyle. Trent Laves has now closed the gap right up onto the back of Kyle. And actually, looks like I heard a bit of chatter on the radio. So this is Dean Logsdale and looks like, is that Keithy Logan in front of him? Oh, wow. That was massive, and I really don't know how you would. So Dean's got to run on the outside. He's obviously got the benefit of the toe. He's then moved to the inside. I think Keithy's got a little bit sideways, and then as the thing's gripped up, it's just come down hard, and poor old Dean had nowhere to go. So hopefully he can get out there and finish the race. There's about 3 laps left to go, and looks like these 3 boys are going to fight it out for the podium spots. Meanwhile, Henry and Sam have both got past Moz. It's Henry in 4th. He's about 2.7 seconds off the leading 3 though, so it's going to take a little bit of work to get back up there with the laps running down. And while Jeff is still holding on to that lead, I wonder if this will get down to a last lap draft and potential overtake. Daytona is renowned for very close finishes. Let's hope the boys understand they can't go underneath those double yellow lines, because if they do, they will cop a penalty. Oh, this is getting very, very toasty at the front. I think these boys are all... Oh, I don't know. I think Jeff is hoping like hell that the two boys behind fight enough that he can just get a little bit of a break as they still run side by side through. Oh, they're giving each other room at the moment, which is great to see. Oh, Kyle squeezes Trent a little bit there. Trent moves back and says, no, you're not doing that, as they... Oh, the two of them are rubbing panels. You can see what this is doing for Jeff. He's now just over a second ahead, so these boys arguing the toss is certainly helping Jeff get away. That's Glenn Hill. Oh, it moves out. Stay out of the way, Glenn. Yes, well done. Kyle and Glenn have got to know each other really well over the last couple of weeks, and I thought they might have been going for the hat trick there, but they've managed to stay separated. As these two continue to run side by side, I've got a feeling they might have just been testing there to see who's got the momentum to... oh, Trent runs it a little bit wide. Kyle does the over and under, and he's back into second. It's only just over 1.5 laps to go. Doesn't look like Henry's going to be able to bridge that gap tonight. He's still just over 3 seconds behind. He has broken away from Sam Muir back. As we have a quick look, and it looks like Ant Connors has still got a fairly healthy lead in Group B class. Have a quick look back and see where Graham's still leading Matt Tesserero, so that's good to see. But let's get back up the front. Looks like Kyle's managed to get a bit of a break this time on Trent. Closes it back down, obviously, in the toe. As they come past this time, they should be getting the white flag. Jack Boyd currently still down in 8th. He hasn't sort of made much momentum after that first pit stop, so I'm not really sure what happened there, but it's wait for the... And there's the white flag, so they're on their last lap. Oh, somebody's ducked into pit road. It looks like that was Moz. So Moz has obviously miscalculated with the fuel. That's going to drop him right down the field. Meanwhile, at the front, Jeff's still got about a 1/2 second lead over Kyle and Trent. Just making their way towards the oval for the last time. Three leaders out onto the oval. Looks like Jeff might be able to hold on here. He's still 1/2 second. It's all going to get down to that last run through the bus stop. As they make their way through now, it looks like they're all through cleanly. That gap has come down slightly, but I think Jeff's going to hold on to this. Check. Oh, there's still white checkered flag now, and it is going to be Jeff. Jeff Connell grabs a win. Trent Laves managed to get up into second. Cole Ridley home in third. Henry Fenson. Rod Bina and Jack Boyd. Just wait for the rest of the field to make their way over the line. And Connors gets home in first in Group B. It should be Lamb Nugent cross the line very shortly. And I think Big G, Graham Ellis should be across the line shortly to take out Group C. Just waiting on our Group C leader.
Just the winners in each group over the broadcast. Top three boy over the broadcast.
Here comes G now. He'll take the win in Group C. Well done. It's a top effort from Graham. Matt Tesserio gets home in second, and it is Matt Carius that manages to bring it home in third. So we will await some official results. I think the boys will be in shortly for some interviews. But in the meantime, we'll wait for some official results to filter through. Boys are they've all jumped into the Rumble race room. In the meantime, I'll drag in our Group B and Group C winners. Start off with Big G, Graham Ellis. Top effort, mate.
I think I come second, didn't I?
No. According to, well, I'm just waiting on the official results. Unless they've gone Cactus, I'm pretty sure that it was telling me that. Hang on, we should be able to bring up the Group C results now.
I thought I had, but I was told I might have come second.
No, I can confirm that you are the winner of Group C tonight.
Wow, how good's that, finally?
Yep, you beat Matt Tesserero home by under a second.
yeah, he was putting the pressure on, don't worry about that.
But, no, that's a top effort, Big G. That's very well done.
Thank you. Just thank you. Yeah, it's wrapped.
And
absolutely wrapped.
Our winner of Group B is none other than the Cobra himself, Anthony Connors.
Thank you.
Thank you. You had it fairly easy there.
It is fairly easy once you get behind them A-class drivers and just let them do all the work and just follow them.
Yeah, we sort of noticed that on the broadcast that you might have been getting a bit of assistance from some of the Group A boys, but nevertheless, it's still a great effort.
Thank you.
To take out Group B, and let's have a look at our official results for Group A and Jeff Connell. Well done, Jeff. That's a win on only your second round.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was a really fun race. just didn't know how it was going to play out. I think I came out of the pits after the first round of stops 11th or 12th or something. So yeah, it was awesome. There was probably 10 cars that could have won the race. So it was fun.
And Trent Laves is with us. Trent, second tonight. A bit of a battle those last couple of laps with Kyle.
Yeah, mate, it was an absolute banger there. Me and Jeff sort of tag team in the field on the way through there and saving tons of fuel and brought us back to the pack. It was just unfortunate that Lee and Jackie had that incident. It would have been, I reckon, it would have been like a 5 or 6 way if it didn't split up the front pack towards the end there. But bunch of fun, awesome racing and hard but fair with Kyle there. It was really good fun. I'm pretty sure he was sick of me rattling on his bumper there through the lap. I'm sure.
Yeah, we managed to catch the last couple of laps. Kyle, you certainly rubbing door handles, but in the end still brought it home for third, which is a great effort.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort. I screwed up my quali, so I had to go from P28 to P3, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then the last stop, I underfueled my leader, so I was trying to save it, but Trent just never gave me the breather. So, of course, coming down to the line, she coughed, and I had to give him the P2. But overall, it was a good race.
Yeah, no, it was a really good show for the top three guys. You all put in a really good effort, and as you said, after the second lot of pit stops, for a while there, it was sort of looking that the Mercs might have grabbed it all again, but with Henry. But no, it's good to see some new faces up on the podium. Well done to you three. We'll just go back to. Are you still with us, Graham? Was he gone? No, it looks like G's left us. And anyone you want to thank?
You, mate, for all your hard work and effort that you put into it. Thank you very much. And yeah, you do an awesome job, even with your broadcast, mate. You do well done.
No worries. Always happy to oblige. And Kyle, anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, as always, I want to thank you guys for getting it all sorted for us to race. Racing tonight was pretty good. It was clean from my end, so I want to thank all the drivers out there, and I want to thank my teammate Matt for joining me this season.
Yeah, no worries. And it was good to see. On the broadcast, I held my breath that last couple of laps there, Kyle. You come across your nemesis in Glen Hill, but all got through cleanly tonight, which was great to see.
I'll tell you what, I was worried. but still got a 0x, but it's an improvement.
Yeah, no, it's good to see we finally got through a race where we used to didn't tangle. And Trent, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, it's yourself, mate, for putting all this on. It's a great little series that I've jumped on a bit late, but a bunch of fun. I'd also like to thank the Bailey Ladders Aussie Racing boys and Lobesy Racing, which is me, but anyway, and also the other guys for the racing. It was a really, really good fun race, this one. Much improved on the efforts of last week's bugger up from my part, so good stuff.
That's good. And Jeff, anyone you want to thank?
All those guys for a good battle. It was fun. Like for a whole hour to have fun, that's pretty good. And thanks to you, all the time and effort you put in to run this. It's pretty cool series you've got going, and I know you put a lot of effort into it, so it pays off. So yeah, it's awesome. We can all have fun. So thanks.
It's great to see such a big field of guys out there tonight. There was a few minor incidents that I'm sure the stewards will have a look at during the week, but overall, for a field of 43 cars, 35 lap race at Daytona, it speaks volumes for the level of drivers we've got out there this season. A lot of you boys are new. Some of you not so new to our league, but I just want to shout out to everybody because I think the racing is improving every week, and with such a big field and 3 different classes, it can be difficult. But no, I was super impressed tonight with the way everybody handled them, not only themselves but the traffic. So congratulations to all you guys. Next week, I think we might be heading to Imola, so that'll be an interesting track with the off tracks and slowdowns. But we'll be going back to our 2 30-minute race format with just a single pit stop. So, and I will make sure that we've got enough fuel for everybody, so you don't need to fuel save. I'm never going to live round one down, so I will make it my job to ensure that you've all got enough fuel for next week. So thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody out there for joining us tonight on the broadcast, and hopefully we will catch everybody again next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.